I'm finding my vibe in this magical place, in frequency fluidity.
Hello there, and welcome to Frequency Fluidity with Jessie. Hey, that's me. So, today I want to talk about being an online student. I am an online educator. I have been an educator for about 20 years. The majority of my years have been in third grade. I've also taught fourth grade, I've taught second grade, I even taught a year of pre-K, but most of my years have been in third grade. I have been an online teacher for a year, and it's about the time that we're going to be starting the new school year, and I thought it might be a good idea to talk about what makes a successful online student. And so today I want to talk about some things that I have seen and some things that I have noticed have really helped some of my students be successful. Okay. So first I want to talk about some of the things that I've seen as an online educator that concern me. Number one, at the beginning of the year or anytime a new student comes into my classroom, I send out communication, including my phone number, including a request to join our community dojo, and my email address. So I provide three different forms of communication. I ask that they program my phone number into their phone and send me a text with their name and their student's name so that I can know who I'm communicating with, right? Because a lot of times these days we're texting back and forth, and most of the time that handles things. Also, if I need to contact them, I have a phone number that I can contact them at. Dojo is great for communication to a large group of people at one time. And so that's why I ask for them to join that. Mostly it's for things like tech issues. If I find a problem in the curriculum that I need to inform everybody about, or if I suddenly become sick, right? I can communicate quickly with most of my parents. If there's weather and I need to check in, on my kiddos and make sure everybody's okay, I can do that. Okay, so some of the things that I've noticed is that when I have put out those requests for communication, the parents who respond and the parents who communicate and follow those directions to get to the right place, those are the parents that communicate all year long. The ones who I have to repeatedly send the requests to, and the parent is not responding even after I've communicated with the student, those students tend not to be as successful because they don't have an active learning coach helping them on the other side. By the way, learning coaches is what we call our parents or whoever is helping on the other side. So it could be like a grandparent, maybe an older sibling who's like in college or something like that. Those are their learning coaches. And part of the thing that makes online learning successful is collaboration. So when they don't respond to those efforts for communication, that often shows that they're not going to be willing to engage on a daily basis. Um, let's see. Another thing that I have noticed, what I noticed is that late in the semester in December and then right before the school year ended, when students were failing, and that information was communicated to parents, even though it was communicated every Friday when I updated my grade book and sent out for each individual class that they were failing. So, for example, I taught ELA, math, science, and social studies. So, if they're failing all four subjects, they and their learning coach are getting four separate emails saying that you are failing your core classes. Somehow, these communications don't go through miraculously until the end of the semester when grades are about to be finalized. And then there's a mad dash At the end of the school year, it was even worse because now you were talking possible retention. And somehow, miraculously, your child was able to pull it out in a 2-week window. My suggestion would be to stay on top of it on a regular basis every day and make it a priority. This is your schooling and you get to have control of that. So if we don't have a learning coach that's involved, oftentimes the child will not finish what they need to do in order to be successful. Another thing that I noticed is that I had some students who struggled, yet somehow they were performing at a 6th grade level on our diagnostics. So when I had parents tell me that they were struggling, I was like, how is what I'm showing with our diagnostics is that you're on a 6th grade level. How did that happen? So it's very difficult for me to help a student be successful if I'm not getting accurate data that represents where those gaps are located, and I won't know to address them. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed some of that going on. I also noticed a lot of our children in the online community uh, have decided that ChatGPT is the way to go. And unfortunately, in 3rd grade, some of my friends even forget to remove the prompt that they've put into ChatGPT as a response, and then just put it out there, for everyone to see. So in my class, the way that I address that is I will read the response out loud, and then I will say, "Oh my gosh, what a fabulous response. So and so, can you come on mic and explain to your classmates what this means? I am so impressed with your vocabulary. I want you to tell me about this word. Tell me what it means." You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those are some of the things that I've noticed. The biggest thing that I've noticed is parental involvement is the key. Learning coaches are the key to success because if they're having a tech issue, I can't fix it on my end. If their mic is not working, I can't fix it on my end. If they need to clear their cache and cookies, I can't fix it on my end. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be somebody on the other side willing to sit there and be with them and help them create an environment of success. So let's talk about what I think are the main components that you need in order to set up a successful online environment. Number one, look around. My environment is quiet. I don't have any distractors on in the background. I don't have people running around. And I'm not saying that everybody has the ability to have this. But when you are sitting in the living room with the TV on, brother and sister are running around, you don't have headphones on, and the dog is barking, just saying, um, those distract from your ability to learn. You need to set yourself up with an environment that allows you to learn. It doesn't have to be like this. It can be at the kitchen table, but the TV's off and other kiddos are in a room somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It could be, sometimes I like to go sit on my porch and go do my teaching there. So a quiet environment invites your brain to be able to focus on what's going on, and I can't compete with what's going on in the household. So that's one of the big things. That set yourself up for success by giving yourself an area that makes you feel comfortable and ready to be successful. Number two, communicate with your learning coach. You're having a problem? Communicate with me. Kiddo's not feeling well? Communicate with me. You're unsure about something or you need a resource? Communicate with me. You think it's a dumb question? Communicate with me. I'd rather my learning coaches over communicate with me than not communicate with me. I guarantee that if you have a question, somebody else probably has the question, and I'm there to help you. But you got to ask, or I'm not going to know. So create a relationship with your kiddo's teacher where you can feel comfortable enough to communicate with them. I would even sometimes a couple of times a week in our dojo, I would throw it into chat. Hey, I've got some time free. Does anybody need anything? Is there anything I can help you with? You know, blah, 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 just to try to do a check in, just checking in with them. So when your teacher does that, respond. No, we're good. Or, hey, I had a question about number 5 or whatever, whatever. Okay. For the first 2 weeks, I would recommend that if you have an online student, that you sit with that student. Oh, let me go back to that for 1 second. Another thing that's going to be really, really important is setting up a daily schedule. And here's the biggest thing. Your child needs to have input in that schedule. They need to have accountability and buy-in to a schedule. And so they need to have help creating it, right? So you look at what needs to be. Like if you have class at 8:30 and then you have class at 9:30, okay, well you have a 15-minute break between those, right? So I tell my kiddos during those 15 minutes, you go to the restroom, you run or do some type of movement with your body, go do jumping jacks, jump rope, do something, and get some fuel in your system. If you need a drink, if you need to grab a snack, those are the things you do. So I try to tell them, but like I have kiddos jumping on to class at 8:30 who are still in bed. And by contrast, I have kiddos who are up, have had their, teeth brushed and they've washed their face, their hair is done, they've eaten their breakfast. I had one kiddo who every morning before our 8:30 class started, she had done all of her work already. Good for you, girl. She's done once we're done with live classes. So you need to have the kiddo have input in that because then they have buy-in to it, right? I helped create this schedule. This is what's going to work for me. Make sure to include movement breaks. Make sure to include snacky breaks. Have snacks that are like prepared. Don't come bringing a bowl of ramen slurping in class, but prepare some grapes, a banana. I used to have to eat a banana in like my 3rd class because by that time, like I was really hungry. So those types of like easy, protein bar, something like that, easy, so that if I call on you for a question, you don't have a mouthful of ramen. Or what did I have once? I had leftover spaghetti which morning, which, hey, I'm not going to knock the leftover spaghetti, but like, can we not eat it during live class? Okay. Let's see. You are the learning coach is your child's best advocate. If you're going to notice something sooner than I will. And if you notice something, say something, because I don't want anything to slip through the cracks. I want to be an advocate for your student as well. But I've got to know that if you have a concern. So it all goes back to that communicate, 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 communicate. And the last thing is live classes are I used to call it our precious time. That is our time to be together as a learning community, to learn from one another, to work on our academic vocabulary, to stretch our brain and our critical thinking, right? So I would say that time is precious. So I would have kiddos come to class and we would have an online activity and they would be in class. Their camera would be off. They would not respond and they would not log into the online activity that we were discussing together as a class. Why are you there? Like, I don't mean to be rude, but why are you there? If you're gonna come to class, participate. We want to hear your thoughts. We want you to be part of the conversation. You know, I the most exciting thing to me as an educator is hearing my kiddos thinking. I love hearing how they see things and how they process things. And if I can't even get you to respond, how successful do you think you're going to be in an online learning environment? So, those are some suggestions that I have as an online educator. Again, the number one thing being communicate. Okay, so in every video, I like to do a literature link and I like to do a lyrical link. So my lyrical link today is from High School Musical, and it's "We're all in this together." I know it's cheesy, but I don't care because it's the truth. The only way that we're going to be successful is if we're all in this together. So just remember that. And my literature link today comes from Mo Willems, because I love me some Mo Willems. And it's "Don't Let the Pigeons Stay Up Late." So this is just referencing, well, first of all, I mean, it's just fun because the kids love these books and they're amazing. But it's also like, sometimes you have to be in charge. Sometimes I would have some parents say, "Well, they stay up late on their technology." Take the technology. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to set our kiddos up for success, and when we let them be in charge of things that maybe they shouldn't be in charge of, like, give them autonomy where you can, right? Help them pick the chores that they want to do. Help them, do you want to wear this or that? Give them options, but don't let them be in charge. Don't let the pigeon stay up late. Make the pigeon go to bed. Because even though the pigeon is saying that the pigeon wants to stay up late, the pigeon needs to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? The pigeon needs to go to bed. Okay, so that is my literature link for this episode. So I hope that that provided some context and gave you some understanding about what can help you to be a successful online student. One more note that I just forgot to say: the most successful students, or a lot of the most successful students that I have seen, are students where a traditional school setting would not have been the most beneficial thing for them. Online People pick online learning for a reason. There's reasons that I chose to be an online teacher. I have an autoimmune disorder, so I kept getting sick. I have a mama that I'm helping to take care of. I have, I needed to be closer to my family and also take care of my health. And this provides me with an opportunity to do that and still utilizing all of my skills. As such, some of our kiddos, traditional schooling does not work for them. They have medical conditions that make them uncomfortable in that setting. They have attention issues that make it really difficult to focus in those types of settings. Maybe there's some sort of, autistic sensory issues with, loud noises or overstimulation. So the beauty of online education is that you can set up your environment for what is going to make you most successful. You don't have to worry about anyone else and how they're going to deal with it. So that's one thing I was going to say, is that the biggest thing that I've noticed is that for our kiddos who really struggled in the classroom, this is a really great option. Okay, so thank you for joining me. And until next time, always remember that you have the courage to be brave and the ability to heal. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your suggestions down below. Do you have a literature link? Do you have a lyrical link? Do you have a comment that you would like to add to what would make you a successful online student. So, all right, y'all have a good day. Peace.